Just watched a video this morning about a roofer, and he was talking about his marketing. And he says he just drives around neighborhoods and he looks for roofs with loose shingles or damage or stuff like that. And he just knocks on the door or leaves a note and he says, "Hi, I'm a roofer. I just noticed." If they open the door, he says, "I just noticed. I wasn't trying to, I'm not soliciting. I just noticed your roof has some damage on it. If you like, I got a ladder on the truck. I can go up there and take a look and tell you what damage it's done." I
Right.
mean, I love that. I love that sort of in your face kind of marketing there. In New York City, we'd call it chutzpah marketing. That's unmitigated gall. Just go, I call my system guts. Uh,
Right.
I love salespeople I love the in your face kind of salespeople. Actually, I really
Uh,
do. I love when I'm in a Costco or something. What was I in? I was in a BJ's, which is a poor man's Costco last week, and a sales guy from Verizon or something with the iPad just came up and started talking to me. And I just compliment. I said, "I love that you do that. Nobody does that anymore." And I said, "Does it work?" And he says, "Believe it or not, it works very well." You know, I love that kind of marketing. Are we,
Technology has taken away the personal belly to belly sales.
do you think Dave, do you think there'll always be a place for that more personal, charismatic type of selling?
As long as Tom Hopkins is alive.
Does Tommy Hopkins, seriously, does Tommy Hopkins talk? I have to look that up. I haven't read it much about him
Yeah,
lately.
his old real estate, his what was it, The Art of Real Estate or something. He had this little diagram of two bellies touching with little belly buttons, and it was a little graph, and the whole thing was belly to belly marketing.
I love that.
Went to his boot
At the
camp in
top, it said
Scottsdale.
STP, see 20 people a day or something. There was the initial zip at the top. I remember that.
Mine is the rule of
Claude's is easier.
Mine is the rule of five. Have you directly communicated with five people every day? I think I can guarantee success if somebody has a legitimate or reasonable product or service and they speak to five people a day and they engage them in a conversation, you can't help but succeed.
You
Okay.
never know. You never know who their center of influence is, of who they know that is in need of what you have,
Tom,
and they'll never know
Yeah.
unless you open your mouth.
go ahead, Brent.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize I wasn't muted. Tom Hopkins. Yeah, I went to his boot camp when I was like 21 years old. That was a blast.
Tommy Hopkins, I remember, but I was in an airport. Whenever I'm in an airport, I always go to the bookstore. I love bookstores. Tommy Hopkins, and I always go to the business section. Okay. Tommy Hopkins had the most unique product I've ever seen in a bookstore from a sales trainer. Does anyone know what it was? It was a comic book. He took he made a comic book on sales training. And I love comic books. Okay. I used to always get Superman and Batman and Fantastic Four and stuff like that. And he had it in a comic book. I instantly bought it. I love unique marketing. I still have it somewhere. I thought, who's going to do a sales training book in a comic form? I love when people do original out of the box sort of things like that.